Yes. Very good. So we will continue, perhaps even finish today, the bracha of Sim Shalom. Yes? Sim Shalom. We were in the middle of analyzing it with chassidic sources. We spoke about Ahavas Israel, and we spoke about how the best thing you can do to a father is have his kids get along. We spoke about the Tower of Babel and how they tried to cheat. Yeah?
Yes.
Okay. So we'll continue. Ki be'or panecha natata lanu Hashem Elokeinu Toras Chaim V'Avad Chesed, because in the light of your countenance you gave us, Hashem our God, the Torah of life and love and kindness. Now the giving of the Torah itself was an event that was marked
Yes.
by Shalom, by peace. Because it says when the Jewish people got to Har Sinai, a few days before Matan Torah, it says they encamped there, Ke'ish echad belev echad, like one man with one heart, which means there was complete union, peace, and harmony between the Jewish people, which is why the Torah says Vayichan, which means, and he, akampo, just said the word. He camped. Just, it says like in singular, like one person. This is what I mean. There were like 3 million people because they were like one man with one heart. And so the giving of the Torah was caused by this union, by this peace, which means the recipient to be able to get the Torah was the fact that there was an absolute peace between Am Israel back then. And that's one idea. And the other idea is that when a Jew studies Torah, Hashem gave us the Torah, when a Jew studies Torah, he manages to unite himself with the divine light that comes from Hashem's countenance. That's why it says, Ki be'or panecha, from your face, from the inwardness of Hashem, from the primiyut of Hashem, from the inwardness of Hashem, which means we are able to unite to His will, which is His ratzon, and to His chokhmah, with His wisdom, and all of this is, again, it brings connection of what peace, the Torah, and uniting with Hashem, all bound up together. So we weren't convinced that peace is a good thing. Here we have another reason, which we're mentioning in the bracha. Okay. Now to go a little deeper into the bracha itself. If I tell you Shalom Aleichem, what do you tell me?
Aleichem Shalom.
Aleichem Shalom. Why?
Peace be with you.
Why you trying to start up a discussion with me? I say Shalom Aleichem.
Yes.
Why don't you tell me Shalom Aleichem?
I don't know.
Your wish may.
Peace be unto you, and what do you say? Unto you, peace. It's like I say, Ben, how are you? And you answer me, you are how? No. Why do you? It's like our Jews, they just want to start a discussion. Not Shalom Aleichem, Aleichem Shalom. Huh? Which our cousins also do, by the way, in a different language.
Muslims?
Yes. So, why do we do this? Usually, in any other language, you say, however you say hello back the same way.
Right.
You're not going to switch it up. You're not going to tell your wife, I love you, and then she's going to say, you I love. Are you Yoda now?
So far she hasn't done that.
Maybe that's where the guys from Star Wars got the idea. Shalom Aleichem, Aleichem Shalom. Obviously, it's not just a representation of machloket, of discussion or discord. It's something deeper. And also why I come to you, there's nobody else here. I say, Shalom Aleichem. I say in plural, peace be unto you in plural.
Right.
So who's you? It's just me. No, you in plural. Who are you talking to? Why you say in plural? Okay, so let's try to understand this. When we're saying shalom, peace implies that there's either some sort of, not a fight, but at least some sort of separation, some sort of divide between at least two parts. And with peace, we're trying to unite those two sides into one. If there weren't any kind of difference of opinion or any kind of division, then you wouldn't need to bring up the word peace. Yeah? As we say in Tehillim, chapter 55, which we just sang last week for Yutas Kislev, Pada b'shalom nafshi, mikravli kiveravim hayu imadi. He redeemed my soul with peace from the battle that came upon me because of the many people who were with me. So kiveravim hayu imadi, again it talks about multiple people. These multiple people represent the fact that there is a difference of opinion, there's multiple opinions, which is the contrary of peace and union. And the reason why in this case you had a redemption, Pada b'shalom, he redeemed my soul, he redeemed it with peace, is because Ravim hayu imadi, the many were now with me. Yeah? The many were with me, that's what it means. That's what it means. So you can resolve differences with war. That's one way. And then there's no difference because the other guy's not there anymore. That's one way to resolve differences. But then Ravim, a lot, will become the few. Because that's the only way to make quote unquote peace in that way. But you can also resolve your differences with actual peace, where many become one. Not because the many are not there anymore, they're still there, but they're all united. Yeah? This is why the word peace, or the concept of peace, is highly related to the number 3. Yeah? Why the number 3? We say that, explain that in Chodesh Sivan, when we celebrate Matan Torah. It says, when you have one, there's no reason to talk about peace. It's just, you could talk about inner peace.
Right.
But if it's just you in your house, nobody else, there's no reason to talk about peace. When you have 2, you have a fight, you have a divide, you have a difference of opinion. And when you have 3, you can have a third person who can help unite the other 2. So the number 3 is highly representative of the fusion of the many into one, or also the concept of peace. When you go to the Sfirot, yeah, you have Chesed on the one hand and Gevura on the other. Kindness and strictness. They don't have peace, but there comes Tiferet, which is the third one, and molds them, mixes them into one. Yeah? Which is why Tiferet is the third Sfira. So anyways, peace is achieved when the many are turned into one. But even when we talk about peace, we're not talking about war anymore. Okay? War is off the table. Only peace. Even when we talk about peace, you could achieve peace in 2 ways. Milmala lemata, or milmata lemala. From above to below, or from below to above. What does it mean from above to below? This means you bring union from above where there is union by default into a place where there is separation. And you kind of force feed the peace. Yeah?
Does that work?
Sometimes. Yeah, you can try it with kids. It works for a little while, and then then it explodes.
Mhm.
But it is a way to achieve peace with no war. You just have, in this case, a stronger spiritual thing, power that can make peace. You can have two ministers in a government that hate each other, but when they are in front of the president or the king, they will behave. There will be peace. It's force-fed peace from above to below. And then you have from below to above, which doesn't mean you brought something called peace and embedded it into the relationship, but that peace is achieved in between the parties, real peace. So for example, you had the Sanhedrin. The Sanhedrin was the supreme Jewish court of 71 judges, and their job was to disagree with each other and come to a conclusion, right? But so maybe one day 40 of them said this is the law and 31 said this is the law. So majority rules and the law is like the 40. But if you go up to one of the 31 and you ask him, no, what's the law? He would say, well, the majority said is this. Like implying that's not my opinion, but I accept it. It's a force-fed peace. That's milmala lemata, from above to below. But then you might do that, ask him, so what's the law? Oh, the law is this. Yeah. The fact that the majority said that now has convinced me as well that that is the correct path. Before I had this opinion, but now that according to Torah law, this is the final ruling, I have flipped. And
Exactly.
imagine if that would happen in Congress.
Yeah. Boy.
Anyways, when I say Congress, I mean any Congress in the world, not just
Yes.
the United States. No, it's the same thing. So those are two ways to achieve peace. So now we can understand a little bit better the Shalom Aleichem. Number one, why we say Shalom Aleichem in plural if it's just you and me in a room? Because you and me, how many are we? There's two. It's like I'm trying to achieve peace between us.
Yes.
There's not just you, there's me too, right? So two is already plural, it's already rabbim, and we're trying to achieve from many into one. So I'm wishing us, when I say Shalom Aleichem, I'm wishing both of us. I wish we could have peace. I wish we could have union. But now, if I come in and I say Shalom Aleichem, and you answer me Shalom Aleichem, it feels like a forced peace. It's a peace min mala lemata. It's like, okay, you ask for peace, I'll give you peace. What can I do? I'll do it. But when we answer Shalom Aleichem, he says Aleichem Shalom, means you came this way and I came from the other way and we achieved peace and we met in the middle. I'm not trying to discuss with you that this is not the right, this is not Shalom Aleichem, it's Aleichem Shalom. I'm trying to agree with you, but in reality, from within me, which is why I turned it around. Yeah? And now we have a peace sandwich. Who's in the middle? Aleichem. Shalom Aleichem, Aleichem Shalom. We have a peace sandwich, Yes? We are both in the middle and the Shalom is surrounding us. So don't feel bad if now we should start doing this in English. Maybe it'll help with the peace. How are you? You are how? Yeah?
You could
I'm not how. Yes, you are. Okay. Yeah.
I'll try it next time I see you.
Okay. Who has the time?
6:35.
Okay. We have a story to finish. And we'll try to do it in 5 minutes. So a young couple got married. We're talking somewhere in Russia. And as soon as they were married, the wife started noticing some weird stuff in her husband. Not that he was placing bets in football games or going to weird places. He was getting up in the middle of the night to pray. He was leaving early in the morning to go to the mikveh. He was learning this book that he would hide from her. And she got scared, so she told her father. And her father came in. He found the book, and he screamed, "Oi! He's part of the sect of chassidim." He found the book from Rav Yaakov Yosef of Polnoi, which was a chassidic master called Toldos Yaakov Yosef. And they started screaming at him, "What are you doing? You can't do this." Screaming, but that wouldn't work. I'm not interested in your screaming. I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. And the father said, "Okay, I'm going to be nice to you. I'm going to try to persuade you to stop doing this crazy stuff. Stop being a chassid. This is not good." But persuasion didn't work. And then he said, "Okay, you know what? Just give my daughter a divorce. I don't want my daughter with you. You're a weird chassid in this sect. I don't want anything to do with you." He says, "No, I want to stay married to your daughter. I'm not interested in a divorce." So he started asking people for advice. And the word spread. Everybody had a different opinion how he would do it. Maybe he should just, hit him hard until he agrees to divorce your wife. He says that, but there's opinions that don't agree that is a valid divorce. And so opinions went back and forth until it reached the poritz, the landowner. The non-Jewish landowner heard about this dispute. And he found it interesting. He said, "Bring me this book. I'm gonna fix this problem." So they bring him the book, and he sees the title and the name of the book. He breathes, and he calls the party. He says, "It's time to tell you a story." It says the non-Jewish parts tells the father and the son-in-law, the guys who are fighting. He says, "Many years ago, I was a colonel in the army, and one night, very late, we were camped in Polnoi, and we received an order to move ahead to whatever else we would have to go. But I figured there's 3 soldiers that are missing." And it says, "Where are these 3 guys?" And it says, I think we saw them by this weird house over there." "Okay, go look for him." So they go look for him. They come back. What happened? Why didn't you bring them?" "I don't know. They're sitting on this table with this man that has a light to him, and they're not moving." Says, "What are you talking about?" So he sends 3 more guys. 3 more guys go. They come back. Same thing. Yeah, they're sitting at this table with this guy with a beard, and he has a light, and they're not moving. So he goes there himself, and he sees them sitting there, and they can't move. They're sitting at this table and they can't move. And he himself, the colonel, was scared, but then he said, he interrupts, says, "I see, sir, that you're a holy man. You see, my soldiers have a strict order to follow. We need to move. So could you please do something so they can leave, because they're not moving?" And the old man said, "No doubt they have stolen something. That's why they can't move." So they start searching their pockets, and it's full of silverware and whatever stuff they took. And as soon as they start taking things out, they start moving. But one of them still doesn't move. So what about him? He says, "Check his boot." They checked his boots. He had stuff there, took it out. Now he could move, and he could leave. Turns out this was the first night of the Seder. And after the Seder, this man has stayed by the table, and on the first night of the Seder is Leil Shimurim. Supposedly you leave the door open and you're taken care of. And he had all kinds of beautiful silverware on the table. And when the soldiers saw this, they came in, they started taking stuff, and then they froze and they couldn't move. But then the colonel said, "Wow, when I saw all these miracles, I asked the guy, maybe you can give me some blessings. Firstly, I want children, because I don't have children. Can you give me a blessing for children?" said the colonel. "And second, I want a long life." And he gave them to him, he gave him the blessings, and then I asked him, can you tell me how am I going to die? Asked the colonel. He says, the end of man is hidden and cannot be revealed, but just before the end of your life, an occasion will arise. Well, you will make known my name to other Jews. And he says, my name is Yaakov Yosef of Polnoi, and you'll have a chance to do that. The poet says, it seems that my life is about to end, because I am now revealing you that this is Rabbi Yaakov Yosef of Polnoi. Now tell me, how bad can this be? How bad can this young man be to learning this book? Just leave him alone. He did it. He made peace. They achieved peace, in this case, from this story. And soon after, the poets passed away. So the whole point is, we should pursue peace, inner peace, peace with our loved ones, peace with our family, peace with our friends, peace with Am Yisrael, peace with all the other nations, because peace is the recipient for all the other brachot.